I remember that day. When the skies pounded the earth. Those of us who survived the cataclysm and were not mauled by the creatures fled into the metro. There, in the outer darkness of the tunnels, we found refuge. And we will fight for our future until we die.
What up, my tater tots? Did you guys like the setting of Metro 2033? Where you had to survive in an underground metro during an apocalyptic event? Well, then I got good news, because I introduced you guys Until We Die. Until We Die is a base defense strategy game that releases on the 3rd of June 2021. With the release being on Steam, by the way. In Until We Die, you're also in a post-apocalyptic world similar to the one in Metro. In Until We Die, the world got bombarded with meteorites. And these meteorites spawned unworldly mutants. So the humans that survived the meteorites and monsters fled into the Metro to survive. To fight for the future of mankind. So Until We Die and Metro 2033 share a similar setting. In both cases, people were treated underground because life on the ground was no longer habitable. So the stories are kinda similar, but the gameplay is completely different. Instead of being in a metro, you are in a subway. And for those that don't know, the difference between a metro and subway is very small. The only difference is that subways are always underground, as when it comes to a metro, they can be underground, but they don't have to be. At least, that's what I was able to understand from my conflicted sources. People in forums seem to be kind of unsure about the difference themselves. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Oh, and just like the last time, I got to play a demo to give you guys extra juicy information about the game. Which is also where the majority of the footage is from. The demo lets you play the first 7 in-game days. So if you want to try the game out, there it is. I personally already died after the first 4 days. If you guys decide to try the demo as well, let me know how far you get. In Until We Die, the focus is mainly on the base defense side of things. With your base being the subway station. You play as Ivan, who is the leader of the group. So you carry the responsibility for everyone's survival. You will have to give your people orders and assign them to tasks. And also fight alongside your comrades to keep the many mutants in the subway at bay. Your subjects need you and you need them, as without them you can't loot resources or repair buildings. This is because your character can only shoot with his gun and shout out orders. So you better keep your people alive. To get more people, you need to gather food. Which is, from what I've seen, in the form of mushrooms. After you collected enough food, you can give it to your friend that sits on the rails. He's the guy that constantly sits there playing his guitar. Once you gave him food, he will leave for a short period of time and come back with scrap and survivors. Scrap is your building material, as this is what you use to make new structures. Although the main way you will be getting scrap is through looting crates. Once new people arrive, you need to assign them to a role. This can be done at your workshops who have people in them making tools. If you give a new settler a shovel, he will become a guard/soldier, for example. But if you give him a wrench, then he will become a mechanic who can repair and research stuff. Which is very handy indeed. Now the enemy creatures in this game start relatively small, but the longer you survive, the meaner and bigger they get. The ultimate goal in this game is to survive for about 30 in-game days. I don't know if you guys remember what I said earlier, but I died at day 4. So you want to make sure your base will be up to the task, as near the end you have to fight big sweeping hordes of mutants. Which is no joke. Not only do you have to defend your base, you also have to think about your own well-being. Because if your character Ivan dies, you lose the game. You also lose if you fail to defend the base and they destroy the heart of the base, which is your power generator. Now you can push the enemy's lines back by going past your defensive walls and destroying their nests. This does make the remaining nests more powerful, however. But it does allow you to expand your borders, which is pretty important because this allows you to get multiple walls and make new structures to grow your base and population. I am assuming that once you survive 30 days, you progress in the story, as there seems to be some sort of campaign. At the beginning of the game you have only one spot to pick, so I'm assuming that you get more as you succeed. But Until We Die is no conventional strategy game. You don't just build and fight waves, where the stronger your defenses get, the easier it gets. There is more to this game, as you also need to manage your people by giving them valuable orders. That is the only way you and your subjects can kick ass. This is because your subjects don't have advanced AI, so they won't take the initiative. The game says it's because they're lazy, but I bet they're just dirty cowards. Because of this, you will really have to keep your eye on everyone to make sure they are all pulling their weight. As during nighttime you will get attacked on both fronts of your base. If one side of your base isn't guarded properly, then your wall will get smashed and then you're in serious trouble. When I was playing, I kept running back and forth to make sure the walls weren't breaking, and trying really hard to make sure that my men wouldn't get overrun, as we were pretty outnumbered. I also had to make sure my lazy mechanic would repair the walls after every attack, so there is a lot of management that has to be taken care of. Besides building strong fortifications, you can also research new tech. This is done with a laboratory. You can assign one of your mechanics to research there to get new upgrades. One of these upgrades can make your workers loot faster, for example. Now if you manage to live long enough, then you'll also be able to make farms, send expeditions to the surface, hunt big monsters for food, or get some heavy guns to gun the monsters down. Now the game is being made by the developers of Pig's Eye Games, and according to Steam, this is their first game. But on their Twitter it says they also previously made a game called Dungeon, which is this game. It says it's made by different devs, but maybe they just changed their name. Either way, the game plays well, it's really fun to play and has nice graphics. Although the game is very challenging, so bear that in mind. Now when it comes to the price, I'm unsure of how much it will cost, but I doubt it will be more than $30. My estimate is 25 euros or dollars. And don't flame me if I'm wrong, I'm just guessing. How much do you guys think it will cost? Let me know. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the game as well. And that is all I got for you today. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to tickle the algorithm on my behalf, leave a beautiful comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching.